What's up, guys? Today I'm going to talk about why you give up in learning, 5 reasons why. I'm wearing a suit because I just got done with work and I thought, fuck it. Like, maybe you'll listen to me more if I wear a suit and pretend like I'm more official than I usually do, just not wearing a shirt. So, yeah, fuck it. We're going to wear a suit today. Like, it's not a suit? I don't fucking know. There's no jacket. So, is it a suit? I don't know. Anyways, why you give up in learning. There's a variety of reasons, but I just thought of 5 off the top of my head that I think are pretty important. So listen up if you want to actually get where you want with whatever you're learning. Reason number 1 is because you're scared of failing. Once you learn enough skills, you realize that failing is literally just the path to getting good. So every failure, you don't take it so personally. You don't feel so like attached to your failure because you know that the more you fail, actually, the quicker you're going to get the result you want, right? Now, that doesn't mean you just bash your head against the wall over and over and over and over and over again, right? You have to be a little more strategic than that. But, the main point is that you're scared of failing, so you don't even try. And, why are you scared of failing? Well, it's probably some level of, like, shame on the inside, at least for me, when I'm scared of failing. Like, for example, making these videos, even I feel some, feeling of shame, right? Because I don't have so many subscribers on my YouTube channel, right? I don't know who's watching. I don't know if everything I'm saying is 100% correct. Like, I've thought about this stuff for a long time, and I think I know what I'm talking about. But, like, there's still a part of me that's like, I can fail doing this, you know what I mean? So I'm putting myself out there, and that's the risk that you have to take. Because if you don't put yourself out there, you're not going to learn. You are going to give up, okay? If you're too scared to fail, you are going to give up, and you're not going to take, like, the steps forward that you actually have to do in order to accomplish something that's difficult, okay? Because honestly, if you fail over and over and over and over again, but eventually you can do something really well, like, nobody actually cares how many times you failed, because all of a sudden you're the best at whatever it is you're doing, at least in whatever group of people you're in. You might not be the best in the world, but like in the immediate vicinity of people, you may be like the best or one of the best at whatever it is you're doing. And all those failures, they don't even matter once you get to the point you want, right? And even in the moment, they don't really matter. Like, fuck them. If they think you're a failure, fuck them. Anyways, that's my point. If you want to get better, you have to get over your fear of failure, your shame, find where that shame is coming from, and, figure out, why, okay? Why you have that shame. And I don't know, I'm not a psychologist, but somewhere you're going to have to let go, and you're going to have to just try, okay? All right, next thing. Next reason you give up in language learning is because you expect things too quickly, okay? I want to share like a really amazing quote from a BJJ instructor that I think is 100% true. And I might misquote it, but I think it was, most people overestimate the amount of things they can do in a day or a week. I can't remember how long it was, or in a month, or maybe a year. I think maybe it was like a month. And severely underestimate the amount they can do in 5 years, right? So he believes it takes 5 years to get to the best at whatever it is you're doing. And I think that's 100% true, because so many times I've seen people, I'm going to learn this language. I'm going to get to a high rank in this video game. I'm going to, start doing a new sport, whatever it is. And they give up so quickly because they expect themselves to become really good really quickly. But the fact of the matter is, the world just doesn't work that way. Even if you're a genius, right, it still takes time for your brain to adjust to whatever new information you're feeding it, right? So if you have your mind set on a very short time frame, I'm going to get fluent in a language in 3 months. Like, I'm sorry, you're not going to do that. Oh, I'm going to become a BJJ purple belt in a year. Like, no, you're not going to do that. I'm going to hit diamond in League of Legends, this year. And like right now, you're freaking silver. I mean, yeah, that one might be possible, because honestly, the gap from silver to diamond isn't that huge. But you get what I'm saying. Like, setting yourself like an unrealistic goal, and expecting things too quickly is a big reason that you give up. Because when you don't get what you want in the short term, you start to like think that it's never going to come, or it's going to take too long. But the truth is, like, honestly, it's kind of like a snowball effect, right? You're learning. At the beginning, it takes a long time to add anything, and you're going to get beat down for a long, long time. But eventually you start to pick up steam, and it's kind of like a snowball rolling downhill, right? Snowball effect. So you pick up more and more information, and you start to make more and more connections. And all of a sudden, when you've been doing it for a long time, years and years, all of a sudden everything starts to click together. Everything starts to click, and you start to understand more and more, and you gain more and more experience, and you get better and better and better than all the people around you, right? But it takes a long time to get to that point, right? It's kind of like the tipping point in language. I'm gonna write that down actually. Not just in language, but in skill building, okay? So getting to that tipping point takes a long time. So most people give up before they get there because they don't realize that at the end, there is like a good result waiting for you, but you just have to actually keep putting in the time and putting in the effort until you get there. Okay? Anyways, next reason is because you don't pace yourself. Okay, again, this is really similar to the last one, but one of the problems is like people think they're going to do something, they're going to lose a bunch of weight, whatever it is they want to do, right? Whatever thing they're trying to accomplish, they don't pace themselves. They go absolutely all out as hard as they can for like a week, okay, or like a month, or even longer than that. Sometimes people can last longer than that. And there is a very few rare amount of people who have enough discipline to push as hard as they possibly can on something. But I would say for 99% of the people, like, you have to pace yourself. You have to actually be doing something that you can continue to do week after week after month, year after year, okay? If you have a pace that's way too hard, way too much at the beginning, especially at the beginning, you're gonna burn out within days, if not weeks. I've seen it happen many, many times to many people. They say they're gonna do this, and then I hear about their schedule or what their plan is to accomplish it, and I think you're absolutely crazy, right? You have to start small. You have to start very small and build up and build up. Once you've learned enough skills over and over and you have enough experience with this, you kind of figure out, like, for yourself the pace that is good for you, depending on maybe your interest level in the subject and whatnot. But you kind of understand how much you can put into something without burning out when you really start to know yourself. Okay, that doesn't mean you can't push yourself. Okay, that doesn't mean you can't push yourself, but you need to be aware that if you push yourself too hard, usually what happens is you have like a rebound effect to where you don't do anything at all and you give up. Okay, so that's what we need to avoid when we're trying to learn something. That's a big thing we need to avoid, right? So learning to pace yourself. Okay, reason number 4 is because your interest level just isn't high enough in what you're learning, okay? So many people want to learn something, and I think, why are you learning that, okay? Like, what personal interest do you actually have in that subject? Like, what's the way that if you learn that subject and you bring that into your life every single day, that's going to affect your life in a way that's positive and going to make you feel better? Because, like, that's the reason why you learn a skill, right? Is because you're hoping that through learning that skill, you're going to gain something into your life, right? So when I see people that are learning things they don't have a fundamental interest at, and maybe they're just really interested in the outcome of whatever it is they might learn, like, oh, if I learn to code, I can make a ton of money. Okay, well, if you don't have any interest in coding, do you really want to sit there trying to learn something you're not interested in? Probably going to take you forever. You're probably going to not be very good at what you're doing because you're not even interested, just to try to make some money and be miserable every day coding, right? Or, there's other examples. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, but I've heard of people, I want to learn this, I want to get to this, and it's like, why do you want to do it? You have to actually know fundamentally, like, what connection it has to you. You have to know that, like, you're going to enjoy the process, okay? You're actually interested in the subject itself, not just the outcome that comes of it, right? And things that you have interest in, it's so much easier to make changes in your brain, right? Because you're willing and ready for the information because you're really committed to getting where you want. You're really interested in the subject itself. Like, every day, you wake up and this is something that you want to be doing, right? Those are the subjects you should learn, okay? If you're learning something else that you don't care about at all, I really want you to, like, question to yourself why you're doing that in the first place, right? Because it's probably somebody around you, it's probably people around you that have told you that this is what you need to do, okay? And I've been there too, right? I've definitely been there too. But it is important that you, like, fundamentally find something that connects to you, maybe something you were interested in childhood or whatever. And, those are the things you should pursue. Those are the things that you're going to be able to make big gains in, okay? Not the other things you don't actually care about, or you just want money or whatever it is, or you just want, like, fame or something from that. That's really not what you should be focusing your time on in general. But in the broader, like, scheme of learning, those subjects are going to be much more difficult than something you're actually interested in, okay? And reason number 5, and this is an interesting one, it's because you haven't had success at learning something yet, right? Maybe you haven't ever grinded to, you know, the top 1% in something before, right? So if this is your first time, it's going to be harder than somebody who's already done it before. Like for myself, I've grinded so many different skills up to like a pretty high level, I would say. Okay, within top 10%, and some of them even higher, top 1%, areas like that. Okay, I've done it many, many times, so I know what the process is like. I know what the ups and downs are like. I know what to expect. Okay, and like all these things I just talked about, these are all things I've learned, okay, from just doing these learning skills over and over and over again. And like when I say learning skills, I don't just mean doing it for a little while. Like these are things I like did for quite a long time, and I got to quite a decent level in every single one of them. Okay, and a lot of them are still ongoing. But the fact that I did it before and I've already done it makes it me know in my head like I can do it. All I have to do is put in the time, do the correct method, right? And pace myself and not give up. Okay, giving up is the killer, right? If you give up, it's over. Okay, so you know, bringing it all back together. So if this is your first time, basically, you just need to trust that you can get there. Like you can get there. It may take you longer because this is your first time, right? I don't know if this is true, but some people say, like, for example, after you learn one language, a second language, it's easier to learn a third language. I don't know if that's true, but I think it's similar to this. Once you learn one skill to a high level and then you switch to another skill, whether they're in similar fields or not, like a lot of the concepts within learning stay the same. So I think it's easier to do it again, to replicate your success, right? And honestly, the second time you'll do it even quicker, even faster, because you just know what to do. You can cut out the bullshit and like the fluff and the things that don't actually work. And that's what I'm trying to help you with here, is by making these videos, maybe you'll be able to do things a little more effectively than I've done in the past. Yeah, so to recap, number one, you give up too early because you're scared of failing. Okay, you're scared of what other people are going to think. You're scared of the shame that comes from doing whatever it is you're doing, right? You're scared that people are going to look at you and think, oh, wow, he's trying to do something new. Who does he think he is, right? Okay, you know, those people, fuck them. Fuck them. They're jealous. They're honestly, it's like a projection because they're too scared to actually do something. At least in my opinion, that's what there may be something else to it. I don't know, but that's my gut instinct on it. Number two, you expect things too quickly, okay? Remember, it takes longer than you think, okay? If you think it's gonna take a month, probably gonna take 3 months, maybe even a year, okay? It takes longer than you think, but don't underestimate the amount you can accomplish chipping away every day in a couple years, up to, you know, however many years, versus how much you can accomplish going as hard as you can in like a week or a month, right? The longer you go, the longer you chip away, again, the snowball effect comes and you learn way more, way more. Okay. Number three, because you don't pace yourself, right? You go all out way too hard and you burn out, and that causes you to rebound and quit. Okay. We have to avoid that at all costs. Number four, you're not actually interested in the subject. Okay. Again, you have to choose things that actually connect to you on like a deep level. And those are the things that you can actually learn. You can actually rise above other people and those things. And number five, because you haven't done it yet, okay? You haven't actually gotten to like that high elo, or you haven't actually learned how to do something, or you haven't gotten to like a very high proficiency level in whatever it is you want to learn yet. So if you haven't done it yet, it's gonna be harder your first time, but just know you can do it. You just have to stay the course, okay? As usual, guys, if you have any questions or anything you want me to talk about, yeah, I'm gonna be making a lot more videos like this, so definitely let me know. If you don't know, I'm living in Japan. My name's Thomas. I'm studying for the JLPT N1. I went to engineering school. I worked as an engineer for 2.5 years. I got to Diamond 4, which isn't that high, I guess, in League of Legends, but it was around like top 2, 1%. I don't remember what season. Well, it was season 10, but I don't remember what percentile. Then I switched over, grinded Rocket League, got to very highly low in Rocket League, like GC1. Never hit GC2, but like got to GC1 in about a year, and yeah, I think a little over a year maybe. So I think that was a relatively quick climb. Now I'm learning Japanese. I'm about to take the JLPT N1. I've also learned guitar in the past, BJJ. Competed many times in BJJ, and even though I'm still a blue belt in BJJ, and I actually had surgery a year ago, so I'm recovering from surgery. But I think I was actually getting to like a pretty decent level, and like I was giving everybody in my gym a run for their money, everyone except the very top guys, which one day I would like to get up there, and I definitely think that I will. But yeah, it's gonna take a little more time since I had surgery. And then let's see what else. I also played basketball in high school, so you know I was a pretty good basketball player, and I did spend a lot of time like getting better at basketball. There's one other thing, but I forgot. Anyways, guys, yeah, I'm just trying to give you some of the credentials. Like, I've done a decent bit of things, and now I'm working as an English teacher, so I've also kind of like, honestly, in the year I worked as an English teacher, I feel like I've already like maxed out, at least at the current job I'm in. Like, obviously there's always still things to learn, but I've gotten all the benefit I'm gonna get from it, so I don't really want to keep doing it anymore, because I kind of feel like the gains aren't worth the reward. I kind of feel like the effort isn't worth the reward and the gains at this point. So yeah, anyways, guys, have a great day. See you in the next one.